Are you
Yeah.
hopeful? Could we look? If we don't go, we have to accept the cost of not going. Everybody thinks it's a free ride, right? So there's going to be human atrocity. Syria is going to, grind its humans into a pulp, and we have to look at that and say we're not going. Not our job, not our mission, right? We have to be ready to do that. We have to be
Yeah.
ready to accept that a festering pool of human hate might spawn somebody who decides to do something evil. And honestly, we got off pretty easy on 9/11. I mean, imagine if they were really crafty. Imagine nowadays, if all you did is incite fear. Look how quickly our nation cracks
Yeah.
under the
Wow.
tightest
Yeah.
bit of discomfort and fear, right?
Yeah.
So are you hopeful that we can figure this out? And then maybe a better way to ask the question is how often did you encounter someone like us at our level? Bill Mankins, man, he was great at this job, right?
Yeah, man, he's the
How
best.
many people do you need to put in theater? How many Bill Mankins, Pete Turners, and John Greens do you need to have in theater? If we made you like you're the pole ad with the boss in Afghanistan, and by the way, we never identify these people. I would try to get a job. I would try to do things. They'd be like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, I'm the guy that knows warlords. That's why you don't know me. I can bring people onto the camp and blow your mind if you let me, but you don't. So we don't recognize these people. But how many Bill Mankinses do we need? And is it even possible? Should we just not even do this stuff at all? What do you think?
Man, that's a PhD dissertation in and of itself. First of all, if it's not being a wonk, right? I hate wonks.
Right.
Bottom line is, if it suits our national interest, we have to do it. And how do we decide that? That's fundamentally a political question, right? It's decided by whoever the hell's in charge. So we have to be able to do this. We call it the capability. We have to have this capability. Whether we use it or not is a different story. The degree to which we use it, we got to have the capability. How many do I want to have? Of course, it's region specific. The truth of the matter is, you learn a region, right? You did Iraq and Afghanistan from this perspective. So, but there's crossover, right? There's theoretical crossover, but there's cultural nuance, and so the preference is that you specialize in a region, in a space, that kind of thing, right? And so, if I were king, I'm not effing kidding. You're going to run through every bleeping. We call things countries. That's how we break things down. You're going to break down every country on the planet and say, okay, now let's regionalize this thing. How many people do we need on a team to be able to respond, to be able to do this stuff? Let's project what our power is going to be, because that put my PMP hat on, right? And so, how would we do this? And you're talking 500 to 1,500 humans who are fully employed, doing nothing but focusing on studying that space, and not studying it, being in that space.
Right.
They go work out of the embassy. So most people don't know there are two types of the planet's divided into two types of space: Title 10 space, which is controlled by the Department of Defense,
yes,
and space is controlled by the Department of State. And so these people have to park in those places, and they have to get out, and they have to build a human network of people that they can rely upon. They have to understand. They have to understand all the informal stuff. We're the informal guys. We're not the formal guys. We're the informal guys. And so I think we need what's called a constabulary force of 50,000 people who are trained to function in that space and keep stability. So they're not soldiers and they're not policemen, but they're kind of a hybrid between the two. And oh, by the way, they're willing to deploy for 5 years. And the cost, all things considered, is not a lot of effing money. Okay. Right. It's not a lot of effing money, and but it's how you deal with low intensity conflict. Because look, U.S. SOCOM, Special Forces, they don't want to do this anymore. They don't. They want
a near peer fight.
They want to do direct action, man.
Yeah.
They want. Yeah. You talk to the Vietnam guys, and they're like, "Hey, bro, we are partner based. This is what we do." They want to do this. You talk to the 35, 45-year-old guy, he just wants to shoot somebody in the face.
Yeah.
And so, the SFAT program, it's kind of, they're good at training militaries how to do things. I don't know that they're that good in partner-based operations with non-militaries. We'll call it that for now. A non-approved Department of State partner is what we would call it. But anyway, I think we can do it. I think it would require an honest discussion that there's this gap Okay. There's a gap between near peer, full open warfare and conflict. Okay. And, and just Department of State operations, DOS
Right.
stable operation. There's this gap. And the Army doesn't want to do this. The Marines don't want to do it. The Navy doesn't want to do it. I can tell you stories about them. Air Force doesn't want to do it. So I think you need something brand new. And that's all
if
they
we
do.
were better at it, they'd want to do it. If it meant getting promoted, they'd want to do it in a second, you know?
Bam. Exactly. Exactly.
One of the things that I think illustrates this best, and then I'm going to let you have the final word, is we spend more time, and this is 100% true, training soldier service members, and I'll throw Department of State in there because they're clowns in their own right, but let's just stick with DOD. We spend more time training how to put on sunscreen than we do how to work with an interpreter at the professional level. And it's 100% true. You can't go out and engage people like we did and reliably get a positive
You're
outcome.
spot on. You're spot on. You're exactly right. So there's a thing called introduction to training. So back in the day, one of the things I did is, well, anyway, I'm not going to go on a rant. So I'll just say there are different types of training. And one of the things is introduction to training. And what we do when it comes to working with a linguist or doing a key leader engagement, now it's just a leader engagement because key makes people feel bad that they're not a key leader.
Well, they were all keys. It's like I got a whole ring of keys.
That's right. So anyway, soldier-led. We went to soldier-led engagement, right? Because we don't want to make anyone feel bad. That's how woke we are. Anywho, at best you get introduction. You know, you would go through JRTC or whatever platform you went through to mobilize, and you'd spend maybe an hour. This is how you do a key leader engagement, and take your notes and be nice. And maybe you got an hour of instruction, and then you went out and you did a field exercise for 4 hours. And of that 4 hours, 35 minutes of it was a key leader engagement. So you're spot on. It's just a joke.
Well, and likely most people didn't even get to actually do a key leader engagement. They watched somebody else do it. And the person doing the training is not a master of key leader engagements.
No, he's Larry. I'm Staff Sergeant Johnson. I am a field artillery guy, but I'm here to be your trainer. That's who they are. That's exactly.
I've never left the wire on a deployment.
Yeah, they're just getting paid. They're getting paid to do their job. They're going to do their job, and then they're going to go home and watch a football game.
And this stuff's way too hard to treat like that.